What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is mrboat. mrboat, the most floaty of boats. Now, don't ask me what that means, but his opponent today in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Tunison. I believe the map right now, as I see it, is Sheltered Pass. I was going to say that without checking, but I didn't have the confidence. The map is Sheltered Pass. I love this map. I think this map is a fantastic map. It's definitely a map that Oranos players, Greek players, and Egyptian players, maybe less so Egyptian players. It's a little bit more simple to play this one with Egyptian than it is with Oranos or Atlantean and Greek, but they've definitely got the ball in their court to kind of work out how to play on this map, because the Odin players, the Norse players in general, have really figured this one out to a big degree. Playing Odin basically means the majority of your games you're going to be able to get a decent advance time and have some success. Playing as Thor, you're also going to be able to have some success with the extra Dwarven Gold Mine, the extra accelerated early game to be able to control the map. Sounds really, really good. Loki, you're also going to be having some success because you've got the High Hunt, you've got the raidy map, you've got all the good things that can happen with playing Loki. So all the Norse gods here are very, very strong. Now, Atlantean, on the other hand, you've got a couple of problems you're going to have to overcome here. Problem number one is your secondary hunt is incredibly open for raids. It's very, very tough to deal with this map against all of the Norse gods because they're all going to hit you early. So what you have to do is you have to make sure you're using the every single part of your god's kit to survive that early game. Whether that means utilizing these free oracles that you get, turning them into heroes. Not a bad idea. You get a little bit more population early to survive so you can continue getting resources. Simply surviving here in the early game as Atlantean has simply got to be part of the game plan, because if you survive the early game here, you can then put pressure onto your opponent, who is also going to be out on the map, either hunting over here, hunting over on the top side over here. You can see that it's open. So no matter what civilization you are playing in this map, on this map, it's going to be a tough time to play defense here. Playing defense is the hardest part, so you have to contend with that when playing against the Norse. So we'll see if Tunison's coming to this game with a game plan, or if he is going to be getting his, he's going to be making life hard for himself here. He's already having to advance to the next age here, going off of berries and chickens instead of sitting on his hunt. He did find himself with one of the least favorable spawns here for Oranos, which is a zebra and a giraffe. Very small amount of food. Having to now get himself the herdables in, and he will be finding himself advancing a little bit late here, unfortunately, as the villager now moving forward. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map here, we do see that mrboat advancing through Freya, moving the ox cart over onto this side of the map here to help out his wood choppers. And we do see something that's getting a little bit more standard. I mean, it depends on what build order you're going with, but skipping a dwarf early with Odin, definitely not something that was standard way back in the day, but going with only the 3 dwarfs as Odin makes a lot of sense, in all honesty. I think that mrboat could have also skipped this ox cart, shared this ox cart, and been in with a much, much stronger early game, but nonetheless, he will be advancing quite not a significant amount faster than Tunison, as the Herso are starting to come out. We do see the Ravens scouting this one out as the villagers are sitting on top of their zebra over here. Now, one thing that, if you're worried about this situation that you're in playing as Oranos, where you're going to get pushed off this hunt potentially, one way you can play around it, as we do indeed see the oracles getting pulled back. Absolutely love this. You can heroize these with Valor if you so choose. You can utilize the extra resources you've got by advancing at 4:30 instead of 4 minutes by manually heroizing these, and it can be completely fine as well. But we'll see exactly what Tunison is going to be going for here. He is getting hit a couple of times here on the oracles as they are retreating back, taking a little bit of damage. Not exactly what he wants to have happen here, as there he goes with that conversion there. Hits the citizen, going to be hitting those Herster, that Herster there as well. Military barracks, counter barracks coming down. Villagers are coming out of the town center, so he's not cutting anything just yet. Meanwhile, Boots would kick everything, getting ignored there by mrboat. That is a huge relic, and we do see that Tunison is going to be to be picking that one up. That's going to help those oracles out even more here as the oracle brings the relic back into the temple. As Murmillo and Terma coming out here for Tunison. I would say no surprises here, but I'm not 100% sure that going for Terma in the early game here against Odin is going to be your best bet, as we're going to start seeing Ulfsark coming out here for Mr. Boat. Especially on a map like this where being aggressive is going to be everything, making nothing but Murmillo makes a lot more sense, as the Hearse are going to be coming in onto this position. Terma coming through to take this fight. The Murmillo is seemingly going to be falling here quite fast, as we do see a little bit of micro happening on this front there, as the Valkyrie going to be scouting around for a little bit of damage, as the Murmillo is going to have to start microing themselves. We do see that Mr. Boat does manage to pull himself back here with that low HP Hearse. Going to be able to keep that one alive. I'm pretty sure he doesn't actually heal. I thought, wait, he does heal, right? The Hearse does heal. I'm not confused there. So we do see the Valkyrie there. Bit of a shockwave coming down, it seems. Not exactly sure what that's about there. As the Valkyrie going to be staying alive for a little bit longer, as the Valkyrie comes back in onto this position. A couple more whacks there. Valkyrie down to 25 HP. We'll be able to retreat away. Was I right about that Hersa healing? Yes, the Hersa does heal indeed. As now, Tunison moving across the map. His army not quite ready to be taking these fights just yet. The Ulfsark moving at 4.8 speed. A little bit slower than this Murmillo and Terma army here. As the oracles come back, and Tunison, he's got to be happy about the position he's in here. He has not taken a crazy amount of damage here in this early game. Mr. Boat currently housed as well, getting himself Lone Wanderer. I'm not sure Tunison should be moving out across the map just yet with his army, but he is going to be searching for some raids here at this point. And unfortunately, I'm not sure how well his scouting has gone. If we take a quick look at Tunison's point of view, he doesn't know that there's food over here. It's expired, so he's not going to be able to hit that. Looking through the main base over here, as we do see a couple of units moving in onto this position as well. Random Lion getting involved in the game there as well. As I mean, Tunison right now, he really should be thinking about how he's going to be able to potentially drop another military barracks instead of making these Terma. Because at this point, he can definitely afford double Murmillo production and really doesn't need those Terma anymore. There aren't any throwing axemen. It's literally just Ulfsark here for Mr. Boat. So he's got nothing to worry about in terms of Terma needing to show up in this game. And we do see the Valor has come down, but the big thing here for Mr. Boat to deal with is he doesn't have a good counter to Murmillo until he starts building Terma, if this just can turn into mass Murmillo. Now, there are Rhino up the top side of the map here as well, which Tunison could go for. Alternatively, also just trying to fight in the middle of the map. Not the worst of ideas, but his army is currently spread out. Meanwhile, we see all of the units here in the main base for Mr. Boat looking like he wants to advance to the next age. The army here of Mr. Boat going to be retreating back ever so slightly, as we do see now that the units of Tunison are going to be heading straight in for this hunt. This is exactly what Tunison wants to be happening right now, as Mr. Boat swinging in onto this location as well. Going to be going for a little bit of a cut-off. Not going to be able to get in there, as the Terma units starting to target down the house over here. Not going to be able to find too much value with them on that side, as Tunison kind of not making a whole lot of leeway with his army that he has out right now. He's is in front in terms of population. He's leaving his units all over the place. But here's the thing. Mr. Boat getting himself watchtowers. Mr. Boat getting away with hunting outside his base while being behind in population. He is greeting this ever so slightly, getting himself medium infantry right now. But he might be looking to go to the next stage. You can see he's got the armory down. And this is a big, big clue to Tunison what's coming for him. We do see that medium infantry comes through. But the clue is armory comes down early here for Mr. Boat. Means, well, those Ulfsark, they're not getting built out in mass anymore. Because Mr. Boat's going to the next age. He's just about to finish up on this hunt over here. His gold mine here. He's just about to get himself the 500 gold he needs to advance to the heroic age. And Tunison has not managed to make anything happen just yet with his army. Mr. Boat's economy, very, very strong right now, or at least the resources banked. He's just about to be able to advance. We see Tunison here, 13 villages to Mr. Boat's 32. So Tunison is in a good place in terms of his citizen here. But he's going to have a very, very difficult time dealing with these villagers. And not only that, we do see the Rhino. That's finished up. Scardy coming through now for Mr. Boat. This army not going to be able to find all too much value, though it will get a good fight to happen here as the Valor does get cast down on this position, mostly just hitting the Murmillo here. And these Murmillo, they're 5.76 speed. Murmillo, they do see the villagers trying to grab that gold mine. Is Shockwave available here? There is no Shockwave, unfortunately, for Tunison at this point as he tries to get a bit of a cutoff here, sniping some villagers. But meanwhile, we do see on this position the Promethean, the Murmillo pushing back on that side as the units coming through here for Tunison, shanking down the Murmillo, the Terma on this position, while the Murmillo are dealing with the human units of Mr. Boat. The Terma trying to get around onto the back here, trying to snipe that medium, throw an axe from there. A couple of shots from the Terma, and that will be dealt with as the majority of those Murmillo are getting taken down. Mr. Boat in a bit of a dangerous position now. 28 villages, 27 villages remaining here. We do see more units coming through, sitting on these berry bushes in the middle of the map there as well, as the army of Tunison does get taken out. But Mr. Boat here will have himself access to the next age as these units getting pushed back. More army coming through for Tunison as Mr. Boat here. He's going to be wanting to throw down that hill fort immediately. The question is going to be, will Tunison be able to force a defensive frost here or not, as that hill fort is going up? The Trios bow being left here. A bit of another big relic that's getting left here for no good reason as the Ulfsark get pulled off the hill fort for the time being. These Ulfsark retreating back as well. Tunison at 108 of 115 population going to be trying to flood in onto this location over here as we do see a Frost Giant making its way over here. We've got a handful of hero units going to be going straight after the Frost Giant on that position, as well as the Oracle hero as the Promethean does get attacked there. We do see a cheeky little shockwave on this location as the units trying to push over onto this spot here. Tunison's only got himself 7 favor in the bank. No resources here for the time being. Meanwhile over here, Raven just checking out the wood line. Not going to be anything special there as we do see the Frost getting dropped. Tunison's got to be happy about that. He's got to figure out what the next port of call is going to be here. Answering the Frost Giants, the hill fort's going to come up. Potentially he's done enough damage to the economy here. He's pushed Mr. Boat off of Hunt for the time being, so he's not really going to have any sort of mythic age to worry about for a little bit here. But there is going to be the problem of potentially a Ragnarok coming for him. So he can't take it too slow, but he definitely needs to work out how he's going to be able to deal with these Frost Giants that have come out. Look at them all. There are 3 Frost Giants, one with a very, very low HP, so definitely will get taken out very quickly. But 2 very, very strong Frost Giants on the back here. And we'll have to wait and see what Tunison's plan is. Now, 85 population for Mr. Boat. Tunison may simply just be able to fight through this, given the population differential here, as we do see the forest fire coming down onto this position, going to be hurting that army ever so slightly. It looks like the army of Mr. Boat is incredibly strong here, pushing through. He's got a whole bunch of units, as Tunison losing quite a few, quite a bit of population. They're dropping down to 100 population as the army's still pushing through onto this location here. The question is going to be, how is he dealing with those Frost Giants? They're going to be doing so much damage over here, as we do see some hero Terma getting converted. Whether or not that's going to be a good idea or not, as the Ulfsark can simply just jump onto them, take them down very, very fast, as Tunison going to be retreating back into this middle of the map. For some reason, a counter barracks is up here for Tunison, where I was saying that Terma, they don't really have a good usage here in this matchup, apart from dealing with the throw and axemen, and there's just not that many throw and axemen. But we see that nonetheless, potentially for Cairo Ballista here on the front, not a bad idea, as the Murmillo here for Tunison doing a nice job. But Tunison, he's very low on the resource. For some reason, 700 wood in the bank, as now he's dropping farms. There are still 3 rhinoceros over there that Tunison could potentially be grabbing here. He's really hurting himself. The villagers retreating off of the hunt there as Tunison. He was in a strong position, but he's completely thrown that advantage he's had, and he's given Mr. Boat control of the center of the map. Now Mr. Boat can simply just start thinking about moving his villagers forward to the giraffe. Won't need to farm here, and he's going to be able to shoot his way to the Mythic Age, as Tunison is in a very, very difficult position. As more units piling into this position here, we do see the frost from the Frost Giant hitting that citizen there, causing a little bit of problems there as well, as the hero Terminator on this position as well, not going to be doing all too much damage to those Frost Giants. Tunison in a very difficult position, getting pushed back over here as well, trying to go for a raid, but nothing is available for him at this present moment. As a citizen going to be retreating back, Mr. Boat here in full command. Tunison does have a gold mine secured over here. He does have the villagers on the farms in his main base, so he's at least got 5 farms set up. But in that moment here, Tunison is deciding that the game is lost. He has lost his control of this game. Mr. Boat manages to make this kind of greedy, sneaky, semi-fast heroic in this map work, where Tunison, he just couldn't work out that he needed to pinpoint exactly where the hunters were. Finding the hunters is everything in this matchup, and preventing them from doing any hunting is vitally important here. The big thing, right? The big thing that Oranos has that I think that Oranos players don't fully appreciate is they've got the Promethean offspring. This is a unit that doesn't, I mean, people waste it. They wasted it a lot by trying to snipe a villager, by running it into your opponent's base, losing the Promethean to like a Herser attacking it, or a town center fire taking it down. But the big thing that the Promethean offspring does, I believe, I'm not wrong about this, am I? The Promethean offspring, can I see one on the mini-map anywhere? I think that they're all dead. I think the Promethean offspring is 1 population. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Promethean offspring is 1 population. 5.5 speed, 1 population unit. What does that mean? That means you've got incredibly cheap and good scouting. So you should never find yourself in a position as Atlantean, if you're playing at the highest level, where your opponent gets to sneak something, because you're going to have such a strong usage of that scouting. You know where they're going to be. But in this moment here, Tunison, he just couldn't work out exactly what Mr. Boat was doing. He saw the armory, couldn't put 2 and 2 together to realize that Mr. Boat could not defend the hunt he was trying to grab, and couldn't punish him there. But even after that, he got a big raid, but he just could not convert. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.